Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment for Coaching My Links. Are down below. In today's video, I am going to be talking about spiritual warfare, and I want to talk about pretty much the basic levels which spiritual warfare happen on, right? Um there's a lot that could go into spiritual warfare, and I'll likely make later videos on this that encapsulate more aspects of spiritual warfare. But these main levels are the important things which you need to understand for right now, so that way you can protect yourself. Now, if that sounds good, I would like to ask that you like this video, subscribe if you're new, and if you see the option to, maybe you could hype up this video for your boy. I'd really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Let's get right into today's video. All right, so I'm gonna start from top to bottom, right? So let's talk about spiritual warfare on the soul, right? What is the soul? Let me actually put, I could pull up the chart, you know what I'm saying, right? Spiritual warfare doesn't really happen up here on these levels. It's more when you get inside of this area and down, right? So the soul, right? Your soul is your awareness. It's the thing which is observing this life right now, right? Now, most people are not really aware of their soul. Most people are not fully conscious, right? Consciousness is a state of awareness, right? If your soul is your awareness, but you're not aware of your awareness, you're not fully conscious, right? Because conscious is a state of being aware of what's inside of your awareness, right? So when you're not aware of your own awareness, when you're not conscious of your soul, you become open to spiritual warfare on a soul level. And really, this is where it kind of starts. And when you don't watch this, everything else kind of crumbles. So spiritual warfare on this level happens when people control what you observe and they control what you're conscious of. That's why the media always puts out certain shit to make you aware of certain shit. So that way, pretty much what happens is that when you observe distorted information, it can distort your perspective as well as how you perceive yourself and the outside world. You see? So if you're constantly being shown bullshit, right? It can distort your perspective, and now you have a bullshit perspective which affects how you perceive yourself in the outside world, right? This can also lead to pretty much bullshit beliefs and bullshit ideologies being developed, right? And this leads to the second aspect, spiritual warfare on the mind, right? This is when you become influenced by thoughts and ideas which are harmful to you. This happens once the soul begins observing distorted information. If you had control over what you were observing, if negative thoughts were sent to you, it wouldn't even matter because you would just stop observing that. On top of that, when you have already observed a whole bunch of distortion, you become more open to distortion, right? You're kind of more open to accepting it because you think that it's normal, right? Like if negative thoughts were so like unnormal to you, whenever it would cross your mind, you're like, oh, I'm ignoring that. Cool, right? You just ignore that shit real quick. You feel me? But when you normalize negative thoughts, it's like, oh yeah, that's normal. These thoughts are normal, and it degrades you more and more and more and more and more, right? Now you have the astral level. So one aspect is that images can be sent to you, which cause adverse reactions, or you can be made to dwell on memories and constantly see things from the past, which also invoke adverse reactions. These could be things like lust, fear, anger, sadness, jealousy, etc., right? Like a being or beings can send you images of, if you're a guy, it could be females, naked females. If you're a girl, it could be attractive men, whatever it is, right? That can happen. You could also see images of like scary things which cause fear. You can also kind of just see random scenarios inside your mind which make you angry or sad. Or you could ruminate on past experiences that made you feel fearful, angry, sad, jealous, etc., right? These deal with the astral because you're actually seeing these things. Astral warfare can happen while you're awake because you're literally seeing shit inside your mind, right? Also, your dreams can be stolen. And by stolen, what really dreams don't really get stolen. It's really just the fact that a person is made to become unaware of their dreams. So now they don't know what's going on inside their mind. If certain messages are coming through, they can't receive the message because they're not aware of the dream, right? If there's certain attacks happening with inside their mind, they can't be aware of it because they can't see it inside their dreams, right? Also, your dreams can be influenced to bring on various reactions. Sometimes you might have distractions thrown inside your dreams. Like certain beings might just try to distract you inside your dreams. Like you may be dreaming about some important shit. Then if you're open to lust, they just send a bad bitch inside there. Now you trying to get it in instead of learning from your dreams, right? So it could be distractions. It could also just be negative emotions like fear, anger, sadness, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's like the astral level of spiritual warfare. You feel me? Now we have the etheric level, right? This deals with a person's energy and emotional states being attacked, right? So this is when you might feel drained, you might feel energetically drained, or you kind of just have negative emotions which you're kind of dwelling on and stuff like my bad. Ooh. You have negative emotions which are dwelling on and stuff like that. This is another way that beings can influence you energetically and emotionally and stuff like that. Um, then you have it on the physical, right? This can affect the person's health, your habits, your environment, etc. Like, for example, you can be influenced to do things which make you sick. You can also be influenced to create habits which distort your mind, develop harmful karmic develop harmful karmic impressions. These habits can also waste your energy and drain you emotionally, as well as just throw the course of your physical life completely off. For example, let's say you have a gambling addiction, but you also got bills to pay, right? You could be influenced to waste all your money on gambling. Now you can't pay your bills. Now you're homeless, right? You could also have habits which, when you do them, they kind of mess up your mind, right? This could be stuff like you're addicted. I didn't want to use this one, bro, but you're addicted to watching corn, right? You know what corn is. It just replace the C with a P. This affects your mind, right? It can also affect your astral self because, like, you now you could be imagining those naughty images. You're constantly thinking about that naughty stuff. You may be draining your energy by beating, choking the chicken and stuff like that, or playing with the cat. Whether you're a guy or a girl, right? That could be a habit that drains you. And yeah, then also with your environment, people in your environment can become vessels for energies which seek to affect your mind, your energy, and your physical reality, right? So how do you defend yourself? Well, it really all starts with the soul level. You must gain control over your awareness, right? You must become aware of your soul. Meditation is one of the best ways to do that shit, right? You literally become aware of your soul again. Now you gain more choice over what you want to observe, right? Now when certain negative thoughts come inside your mind, you don't align with that shit, right? You kind of throw those thoughts to the side, or you kind of just stop observing them. You can even begin to create thoughts which battle against the negative thoughts, right? Instead of having negative thoughts fill your mind, you fill up your mind with positive thoughts and positive affirmations, right? That's how you also protect that mental level. With the astral stuff, right? Deals with also the soul. If you can choose what you observe, you just stop observing the images, right? I forgot to mention this too. When it comes to that level, which is right here, this also affects your ego and your personality, right? So pretty much you can be made to identify yourself with things which are not your true nature. You can be made to develop a worldview which is toxic, right? So you identify with being a victim and you have the worldview of a victim. Now that affects your life also. You know what I'm saying? So you could be made to have your identity and your worldview align with things which do not deal with your soul. You see? And then, of course, you control that by, if you just observe your soul and tap into your soul, you now understand how your soul perceives life, and you can identify yourself with your soul and have your ego reflect the nature of your soul. You see? Now, when it comes to the dreams, right? You become more aware of your dreams as you gain awareness in general. As you become aware of your soul, you become more conscious. And because you become more conscious, you actually carry that awareness to other states, like being asleep and then seeing your dreams, right? Um, Also, if certain things happen in your dreams to make you react a certain kind of way, the more conscious you are, the more you're going to become conscious in those dreams and not give into whatever's trying to influence your dreams and stuff like that, right? So, yeah. Now with the emotions, right? So with your energy, you can't just do energy. You could work on your chakras and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You could do qigong, tai chi, things of that nature. Um, and you could also try to gain more control over your emotions by understanding the source of them, which are used. The source of your emotions are usually something mental, certain ideas which you believe in, or certain ideas that you have, certain beliefs that you believe in, certain thoughts that you ruminate on. If you control those thoughts, you kind of control the emotions also. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, yo, why my shit keep on fucking lagging like that though? I'm tired of that little glitch shit, nigga. What the fuck? All right. Anyway, then with the physical aspect, um, once again, if you are aware of your soul and you have full consciousness of your soul, you begin to exert the will of your soul over the body, and now you only do things which benefit you. Right? You take care of yourself. You don't do any. You don't engage in harmful habits. Um, and you learn how to deal with the people in your environment. You either get away from certain people, or you just don't let people affect you as much, right? Or a mix of both. You see? So these are like basic things that happen in spiritual warfare, which people don't realize. Like if there is a demonic energy attached to you, that's because you have an open door on one of these levels. And you only have an open door on one of these levels because you're not fully aware of your soul, right? You're not fully conscious of your true nature. Therefore, when certain thoughts come through, when certain images pop up, when certain emotions pop up, you kind of just identify with that shit as being you. Or like you kind of just let the thoughts stay there. You let the emotions stay there. You don't really take an effort to question these thoughts and try to change them because you at some point could think that you are them. If you have an identity that's negative, why wouldn't negative thoughts be the normal thing? You know what I'm trying to say? So tapping in with the soul is the most important thing because once you become aware of your true nature, you stop feeding into things which are not aligned with your true nature. It becomes a very simple thing. You feel me? So yeah, of course there's more to spiritual warfare like spells and shit like that, but spells can't really affect you if you have full awareness of your soul. Because if those energies try to affect you, you just don't let them affect you because you literally have the consciousness to notice that something's trying to influence you and you kind of just don't engage in that shit. You feel me? Like certain spells could try to affect your certain spells can affect your thoughts and your energy and your emotions. But if you have control over your thoughts and emotions and energy, you can't get affected. You see what I'm trying to say? That's why the soul is the most important part. So I'll talk more about spiritual warfare, but I'm in this video right here. I love you all. Catch my next video. Peace. The freak out. You smell me?